When Vladimir Putin shocked the world by declaring his intention to invade Ukraine in February 2022, no one predicted that this would be the end of Roman Abramovich's reign at Chelsea. For over 2 decades, Abramovich was a key figure at Stamford Bridge, making powerful decisions and leading Chelsea to tremendous success. But now, he's living a very different life, away from the spotlight. At Stamford Bridge, his usual seat is now held by someone else, and he has little chances of reclaiming it anytime soon. It's been nearly a year since the Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich was forced out of Chelsea, and since his departure, the club has undergone significant changes, raising serious concerns about the club's future. For many years, Abramovich has been a name closely associated with Chelsea Football Club. But to understand how Roman Abramovich feels about being kicked out of the club in which he invested heavily and worked passionately for its success, we need to go back to 19 years ago. It was June 2003 when the Russian billionaire acquired Chelsea, and since then, he transformed it into a football powerhouse, winning several trophies and making it one of the most successful football clubs in the English football. During his time at Stamford Bridge, Abramovich loved Chelsea unconditionally, and Chelsea fans also loved him. That's why many of them were surprised by his forced exit, given that he had spent nearly 2 decades developing and investing in the club. Abramovich's ownership of Chelsea was a remarkable story of success. He took over Chelsea when the club was at the rock bottom, and since then, he managed to transform it into one of the most successful football clubs in the world. During his time at Chelsea, the Blues enjoyed significant success in both domestic and international football. Chelsea won a whopping 21 major trophies during Abramovich's 19-year reign at the club. With an impressive haul of 5 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, 2 Champions League trophies, and 2 Europa League titles, just to mention a few. But things weren't always this way. Chelsea's circumstances were quite different back in 2003 when Abramovich took over the club. At that time, the team was facing financial challenges and was also struggling to perform well on the field. Upon his arrival at Stamford Bridge, Abramovich started splashing cash and he invested heavily in the club. According to The Independent, Abramovich spent over 2.1 billion euros of his considerable fortune on the club since taking over in June 2003. This helped Chelsea to establish itself as one of the dominant forces in the English football and European football at large. When Abramovich arrived at Chelsea, he made a lot of changes, and some of the changes he made upon his arrival was the sacking of manager Claudio Ranieri in May 2004. Jose Mourinho was brought in as his replacement, and the club saw immediate results. In the 2004-05 season, Chelsea won its first Premier League title under Abramovich, and this came after 50 years of struggling. After winning their first league title in 50 years, the Russian billionaire joined the team on the open-top bus parade as they celebrated their first league title in 50 years. It was a historic moment. Ever since that particular day, Abramovich has won the affection and backing of Chelsea fans. However, after almost 2 decades of successful ownership, Abramovich's time at Chelsea came to an end in 2022, when he was forced to sell the club due to his close ties with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. It all began in February 2022, when the Russian military invaded Ukraine, leading to widespread condemnation and calls for action against Russia. In immediate retaliation for the invasion of Ukraine, the British government and European Union imposed sanctions against Russia. These sanctions primarily targeted Putin and his inner circle described as the oligarchs. Rumors then emerged that Abramovich would be among the Russian oligarchs sanctioned by the UK government and European Union. All of it was mere speculation until something occurred on March 2, 2022. Standing in the British Parliament, Labour MP Chris Bryant used his parliamentary privilege to reveal that Abramovich was selling his UK home and one of his flats due to his fear of being sanctioned.
Surely Mr. Abramovich should no longer be able to own a football club in this country. Surely we should be looking at seizing some of his assets, including his £152 million home.
Bryant argued that given Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Abramovich should not be allowed to own anything in the country. In response to the mounting pressure, Abramovich announced that he would sell Chelsea after 19 years of ownership. He promised to donate the money from the sale to help victims of the war in Ukraine. However, on March 10th, the UK government finally imposed sanctions on Abramovich, which halted his plans to sell the club. As a result, the future of Chelsea's ownership became uncertain, and the club's fate went in the hands of the governing bodies of football. On March 12th, the Premier League disqualified Abramovich as a director of Chelsea, and on May 7, 2022, Chelsea announced that a new ownership group, led by Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital, had agreed on the terms to acquire the club. This was the end of Abramovich's ownership at Chelsea. It was a shock to many of his fans, because it came when Chelsea had just won the Champions League and FIFA Club World Cup in the previous season, and had finished in top 4 in the English Premier League. After leaving Chelsea, Abramovich continued to focus on his other business ventures in several industries, including energy, mining, and real estate. He also owns a fleet of yachts and is an avid art collector, with a collection valued at over $1 billion. Despite his focus on other ventures, Abramovich remained a football fan at heart. He reportedly continued to watch Chelsea games and even attended some matches in person. He was also rumored to be interested in purchasing another football club, with rumors linking him to AS Monaco and AC Milan. Abramovich's departure from Chelsea marked the end of an era at Stamford Bridge, but it did not spell the end of his involvement in football. He has continued to make an impact on the sport. As for his future in football ownership, only time will tell where his next venture will take him. While his time at Chelsea may be over, his impact on the club and the sport as a whole will not be forgotten. He's the man who introduced Mourinho to the Premier League and is also the reason why things like financial fair play exist. What do you remember about Roman Abramovich's reign at Chelsea? Give us your opinion in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. By subscribing, you'll be notified whenever I upload new content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.